very long season in which has been very successful in some respects and slightly disappointing in others. But first of all, KSB, how would you assess the season?
Well, I mean, I think overall, apart from the league, the cup competitions have been a real success. We again reached the quarter-final of the League Cup, the SMCCFL Cup, and we just came up short against a very vastly improved St Philip's Trinity side, who I expect will go on to do well next season. The National Christian Trophy, we got to the semi-final. Again, we came up against a brilliant team from Merseyside and didn't quite give as good an account of ourselves as really we could have done. But, that's the furthest we've got in that competition. And then, obviously, the Charity Cup, winning that was just a wonderful achievement and a brilliant day. So, obviously, that's the massive highlight from the season for KSB. In the league, it's been pretty disappointing. I think we were done a little bit of a disservice in terms of the final table because of World Harvest dropping out. We lost 4 points as a result of that, and that meant other teams who hadn't done as well against them were able to move above us. So, finishing 7th out of 8 is a bit of a blow in some ways, and I think it didn't really tell the full story of the season. So cups wise, brilliant. League wise, could have been a lot better.
Do you think the success of the Charity Cup just meant that some of the players perhaps took the foot off the gas and coming into the end of the season we thought, well, we've done the main bit now, let's just enjoy our football rather than really, really going for it in each of those league games?
Well, perhaps. I mean, I think we had a couple of injuries and things like that, and the starting lineup seemed to change due to unavailability and injuries and other things. And I do think it's quite hard after such a big win and to win in the way that we did, to then raise the game the next week. It's quite difficult to keep playing to such a high level, and we've had so many games that playing week in week out. By that time, I think we couldn't quite give it everything we've got, and that's not because people weren't trying or anything like that. It's just finding that extra bit of energy that we might need to get us over the line in certain games.
Because arguably that the best team KSB have played all season is Central, and beating them in the final after 90 minutes and then 30 more minutes and a penalty shootout is such a terrific achievement.
Oh, it is. I mean, we've seen Central have actually gone very close to winning Division 1 this season, and that's, to even come close to getting to Spacious Place Yellow, that's a fantastic achievement by them. So it was pretty much as tough as we could have got in that final, and to do what we did, to come back and then to even having gone 4-3 up, to let a last minute goal take it to penalties, that was a bit gutting, but the shootout was just incredible, and it was just an amazing day.
Great to see a lot of fans, people from the church and family and friends come and watch the game.
Oh yeah, that was brilliant. There've been a few times over the years when we've asked the church from the front church service if they wanted to come and cheer us on and support us, and to be fair, they've responded every time, and it was brilliant, and I think it was another big factor in us winning. Having that support to cheer us on, it really does give you the extra. I don't know, 5-10% that perhaps you don't always have.
And unbeaten, of course, still over 2 seasons in the Charity Cup. Is that, do you think, a priority for the club to hang on to that trophy for next season?
Well, I mean, we take every competition very seriously, and it would be absolutely brilliant to go some way to retaining it. But I think one of the key things will hopefully be to have an improved league campaign. As I said, it has been a bit disappointing, and that isn't. I don't think it's indicative of where we are as a club. I think we're a bit higher than that, and I think perhaps that's the main aim next season, to have a much better league finish.
And for KSB United, I think John Kell, we all agree, has done a very good job. Mm-hmm. And in the end, finishing the season in a very, very strong set of performances.
Yeah, absolutely. I think since about December, the home form particularly has been excellent. And, there's been quite a lot of new players who we've had to sort of throw in, as it were, at the deep end. But they've all performed well. And by the end, John had a pretty settled side. And And yeah, I think it's been an excellent campaign. Not just in the league, we got pretty far in the cup as well, which is another good achievement. Beat a side in a league above us. So yeah, I think it's been an excellent first campaign for John, and he's done a great job.
And for United next season, do you think it is a realistic push for promotion?
I think so. I mean, it always changes. You never know how strong teams are going to be, whether they suddenly have loads of new players or whether they'll suddenly have lost them. It's very hard to judge. But on the basis of what we know now, yes, I think so. I think if it hadn't been for a couple of games, even like the Mac Parish game towards the end of the season, if things had worked out differently, we could have been looking at promotion ourselves this season. But yeah, there's a great basis for next year.
And plenty of changes are going to be made in the summer. First of all, KSB manager Phil Argyle is stepping down, and there's also a number of players who will probably be moving on. Do you think that's going to have a big impact on the squad?
Well, yeah. Firstly, Phil's done a great job over the last 3 years. He's really taken it seriously. He's put in a lot of time and effort into it, a lot of thought, and he's got us playing some decent football and a decent system, and got us in our best league finish, best cup, progression in terms of National Christian Trophy, the League Cup, and then obviously winning our first ever cup. So Phil's done a fantastic job. He'll be missed, and it'll be very difficult to replace him. And then the other guys, we don't know how many guys are going to be not available to us next season, but it's happened a few times in the past, and we've always managed to find new people, or other people have stepped up. So it's not something to worry about, and perhaps it's an exciting time for other people to step up.
A few fans have been asking, obviously, who is going to be taking over from Phil Argyle. Has anything been decided yet?
No, nothing's been decided yet. We're just going to have to take everything into consideration, take who's going to be around, who wants to do it, who feels that they can do it, and we'll just look at all the different options and see how we progress.
And finally, Matt, obviously the awards night is coming up, so could you just briefly say a little bit about that, and if anyone doesn't know the details?
Right, well, the awards night is one of the highlights of the year for a lot of people. It will be at Rottenstall Cricket Club on Friday the 2nd of June, starting at 7. We always have a good laugh, loads of joke awards, loads of banter. Hopefully a lot of people not taking it too seriously. But then it's a good chance to recognise people for the individual performances and achievements, and whether people have, improved over the year. Most improved is a really important award, and then there's the sportsmanship award, man of the match, and then obviously the players' player and the manager's player. There's quite a few awards to be won, but ones which recognise individual performances, and it's also a chance for us as a team, as a club, to celebrate what's been another really good year.
Okay, thanks very much, Matthew.
Cheers.